All right, let's dive in. Today we're headed to Burlington, Ontario.
Oh, nice. What's up in Burlington?
Well, we're checking out this place called Gorgesthetics.
Gorgesthetic.
Yeah, but it's pronounced like Gorgesthetics. Gorge as in gorgeous. Get it?
Yeah, I see. Clever. What kind of place is it?
They're all about cosmetic injections. And, we've got a lot to work with for this deep dive. Their website's pretty detailed.
Okay.
Plus, we found some client testimonials and even articles from this Ask Your Injector section they've got.
Yeah,
Should give us a good look at what they're all about.
definitely. So who's behind this gorge aesthetics?
So the woman behind it all is Trudy DeFranco.
Okay.
She's a registered practical nurse and an advanced aesthetic nurse injector. Looks like she's got a ton of experience.
Nice.
Yeah. And her bio on the website talks about how she's always been fascinated by beauty, symmetry, that kind of thing. Sounds like a real passion for her.
Interesting. So it's not just a job then.
Seems like it's way more than that. And she's really dedicated to the whole field, not just injecting. She mentors other nurses and is always going to these advanced trainings, even flew down to Miami to learn the latest techniques.
Wow. Dedicated, huh?
For sure. Oh, and get this, she's a member of a whole bunch of professional organizations.
Really? Like what?
Let's see, Wear RPN, CNO, the Canadian Association of Medical Aesthetics, and the Canadian Board of Medical Aesthetics.
Wow, she's got the credentials. That's got to be reassuring for anyone thinking of going there.
Definitely builds trust.
Yeah.
So what about Gorgesthetics itself? What exactly do they do there?
Well, from their website, it looks like their specialty is cosmetic injections and skin rejuvenation.
Okay.
They do a range of things: dermal fillers, wrinkle relaxers like Botox, lip fillers, even something called men's Botox.
Men's Botox. Love it. Guys are getting into this stuff too. Makes sense. It's not just for women anymore.
Totally. Seems like everyone wants to look and feel their best these days, no matter who you are.
It's so true. One thing that jumped out at me about Trudy is this whole philosophy she has.
Oh, what's that?
She's all about under-promising and over-delivering.
Interesting. So no unrealistic expectations then.
Exactly. Plus, she really focuses on personalized care, does these detailed consultations to figure out what each patient wants and needs before even suggesting anything.
It's not just about filling in a wrinkle, it's about the whole person, huh?
Right. And she makes sure to talk about any potential risks too, so patients can make informed decisions, not just pushing treatments on people.
Good for her. That kind of transparency is so important.
And it doesn't stop after the treatment either. She gives advice on skincare and how to maintain results in the long term, clearly invested in her clients.
Wow, going above and beyond. Now that's patient care.
Yeah.
So what are people saying about her? Are the clients happy?
Oh, definitely. The testimonials are glowing. People are raving about her skill, how natural her results look, and how gentle she is.
That's the real test, right? Happy
Yeah.
customers.
For sure. One client even mentioned she'd had lip fillers dissolved somewhere else because she didn't like them.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but then she went to Trudy to get them redone and was amazed that there was no swelling or numbness within 2 hours.
Seriously, that's impressive.
And you know what else is impressive? Their Google rating, 5.0, based on 54 reviews. That says a lot.
Wow. Okay, clearly Trudy's doing something right. So what about this Ask Your Injector section?
Yes. They've got all these articles answering common questions about different treatments. It's great.
Patient education, huh?
Exactly. One that caught my eye was all about microneedling. It starts with the author saying, "Have you ever looked in the mirror and wished for smoother, younger-looking skin? I've been there."
Ooh, relatable. Everyone's felt that way at some point.
Right. And then they actually explain what microneedling is, how it uses tiny needles to create these microinjuries, which then triggers the body to heal and produce more collagen.
Interesting. So it sort of tricks your skin into repairing itself?
Pretty much. And they get into the benefits too, like reducing fine lines and wrinkles, minimizing acne scars, stuff like that.
Makes sense. Boosting collagen should help with all that. But isn't microneedling kind of intense?
Yeah, I know what you mean. But they address that, explaining that it's minimally invasive and there's not much downtime.
Oh, that's good to know.
There's even one article about whether you can do it at home after having it done professionally. I was curious about that.
Me too. You see those at-home devices all the time, but are they any good?
Well, Gorgesthetics actually advises caution. They say the needles in those home devices are much shorter, so the results won't be as dramatic.
Makes sense.
And they recommend talking to a skincare professional before trying it at home, just to be safe.
Good advice. You don't want to mess up your skin.
Definitely not. But they do give a step-by-step guide for doing it safely if you do decide to try it at home. Really focused on educating people, even if they're not coming to their studio.
That's great. Knowledge is power, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about microneedling, but what about the big one, Botox?
Botox, the wrinkle racer.
Right, but they use it for more than just that at Gorgesthetics.
Oh, like what?
Well, they have this article called Exploring the Benefits of BOTOX for Various Body Parts. Seems a lot of their clients in Burlington are interested in what it can do beyond the face.
I can see why Botox is all about relaxing muscles, so I guess it could be helpful for other things, too.
Exactly. One thing they mention is treating excessive sweating, hyperhidrosis.
Ah, right. Heard about that. Stops you from sweating so much.
Yep. And get this, they also talk about using it for migraines, teeth grinding, even overactive bladder.
Whoa, seriously? I had no idea. Botox is way more versatile than I thought.
Right. It's not just cosmetic anymore. It's like a medical treatment now. And they explain how it works in each case. For example, with migraines, they say it blocks these neurotransmitters that send pain signals.
So it's messing with your nerves too, huh? That's wild.
Seems like there's so much more to Botox than meets the eye.
Definitely. Gorgesthetics is really pushing the boundaries with it, finding new ways to help people. So we've talked a lot about the treatments, but what about Trudy herself? What made her get into aesthetics?
That's a good question. Unfortunately, the sources we have don't really get into her personal story.
Oh, too bad. Would have been interesting to hear about her journey.
Totally. Maybe something to explore in a future deep dive. But even without knowing that, it's clear she's passionate about what she does.
For sure. Her expertise, her dedication to education, the way she focuses on her clients, it all shines through.
You know what else I'm curious about?
What's that?
There's social media. Do they have a strong presence online? How do they engage with people?
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
These days, you've got to have a good social media game, especially in a visual field like aesthetics.
Exactly. It'd be cool to see how they use Instagram, Facebook, all that, to show off their work and connect with potential clients.
Yeah, give us a glimpse into their brand personality,
Unfortunately, the sources we have don't really touch on their social media strategy.
Another mystery.
Maybe we can delve into that another time. But hey, we've already learned so much about Gorgesthetics and Trudy DeFranco, wouldn't you say?
Definitely. From her qualifications and constant learning to her personalized care and ethics, it's clear she's built something special. It's more than just skin deep.
I totally agree. They've got this balance of art and science, focusing on natural-looking results, educating clients, and really caring about their well-being. Refreshing to see in an industry that can be, well, pretty focused on appearances.
Yeah, it's not all about vanity here.
But before we wrap up this part, I want to leave our listeners with something to think about.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What is it?
Think about this. Gorgesthetics is doing really well, and aesthetic treatments in general are becoming more and more popular. What does that say about how we view aging and beauty as a society?
Ooh, deep question. It's true, we live in a culture obsessed with youth, and these treatments are easier to get than ever. Makes you wonder, are we all just chasing some impossible ideal?
Right, or are we just using what's available to feel more confident and comfortable with ourselves?
It's a tough one. No easy answers.
Definitely something to ponder. It's about finding that sweet spot between accepting yourself and wanting to improve, and remembering that true beauty comes from within.
Well said. It's about owning who you are, celebrating what makes you unique, and making choices that feel right for you. It's amazing how they explain all that sciencey stuff in a way that's easy to understand. You don't have to be a skincare expert to get it.
Totally. And they go through all the benefits too, smoother skin, fewer wrinkles, less noticeable acne scars. Makes you kind of want to try it.
I know, right? But those needles still makes me a bit squeamish.
Hi. But hey, they even have a whole article addressing that whole can you do microneedling at home question. I was super curious about that.
Oh, me too. I've seen those little roller things you can buy, but I'm like, is that really the same thing?
Well, according to Gorgesthetics, not quite. They say those at-home devices use way shorter needles, so you won't get those same dramatic results.
Makes sense, I guess. Probably can't go as deep.
And they're pretty big on talking to a professional before you try anything at home, just to be safe.
Smart. Better safe than sorry, especially when it comes to your face.
No kidding. But the cool thing is they do give a step-by-step guide for doing it safely at home if you decide to go for it. Really shows they care about people being informed, even if they're not coming in for a treatment.
Yeah, they're all about education. Love that.
Okay, so we've covered microneedling, but what about the big one? Botox. Everyone's heard of Botox.
Botox, the OG wrinkle fighter.
Exactly. But Gorgesthetics is using it for a lot more than just that.
Really? Like what? Besides smoothing out foreheads.
They've got this article called Exploring the Benefits of BOX for Various Body Parts. Seems like their clients in Burlington are really curious about how it can be used beyond the face.
That's interesting. I mean, Botox basically paralyzes muscles, right? So I guess it could have other uses.
Exactly. For example, they talk about treating excessive sweating, hyperhidrosis.
Oh, right, right. Heard about that. Stops the sweat glands from going into overdrive?
And get this, they also use it for migraines, teeth grinding, even overactive bladder.
Whoa, seriously. I had no idea. Botox is like a miracle drug or something.
I know, right? It's not just about vanity anymore. It's a real medical treatment. And they explain how it works for each of those things. Like for migraines, they say it blocks those neurotransmitters that carry pain signals.
So it's like
Right.
messing with your brain chemistry. That's crazy.
It's definitely more than just freezing your face.
For sure. Gorgesthetics is really on the cutting edge with this stuff, finding new ways to use it. So we've talked a lot about the treatments they offer, but I'm kind of curious about Trudy herself. Her personal story, what got her into this whole field.
Yeah, that would be fascinating to hear.
Mm.
But unfortunately, the sources we have don't really delve into her personal journey.
Oh, that's a shame. Maybe something for a future deep dive.
Definitely. But hey, even without knowing her whole life story, it's clear she's passionate about this work.
No doubt. Her skills, her commitment to learning, the way she treats her clients, it all speaks volumes.
You know what else I'm curious about?
What's that?
Their social media presence. Do they have a big following? What kind of stuff do they post?
Oh, good point. These days, social media is everything, especially for a business like this.
I know, right?
Yeah,
It'd be cool to see how they use Instagram, Facebook, all that to connect with potential clients and show off what they do.
totally. Get a feel for their vibe.
Sadly, our sources don't really touch on their social media strategy.
Another mystery for another time, I guess.
But hey, we've still learned a ton about Gorgesthetics and Trudy DeFranco, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Her impressive credentials, her focus on personalized care, her commitment to ethical practices. It's clear she's built something really special.
It goes beyond just making people look good. It's about empowering them to feel good, too.
Yeah, it's that balance of artistry and science that's so cool. They focus on natural-looking results, they educate their clients, and they really prioritize well-being.
It's a refreshing take in an industry that can be pretty, well, obsessed with looks.
Totally. It's not all about superficial stuff here.
But before we move on, I want to leave our listeners with something to think about.
Ooh, I'm listening.
Gorgesthetics is doing great right now, and aesthetic treatments are becoming more and more common. So the question is, what does this all say about how we view aging and beauty in our society?
That's a big one. It's true, we live in a culture that's obsessed with staying young, and now it's easier than ever to try and do that. But is it all just a big chase for something that doesn't really exist?
Right. Or is it about people wanting to feel more confident and comfortable in their own skin?
It's a tough one. No easy answers.
Definitely food for thought.
Yep.
I think it's all about finding that balance, between accepting yourself for who you are and wanting to make improvements. And remembering that true beauty comes from within, not just from what you look like on the outside.
Well said. It's about owning your individuality, celebrating what makes you unique, and making choices that feel right for you. Yeah, that's a really good point. It's a lot to think about.
Definitely. So much to unpack there. But I think what really stood out to me about Gorgesthetics is how much they emphasize natural-looking results. It's not about drastically changing someone's appearance. It's about enhancing their natural features, helping them feel more confident.
Yeah, I get that. It's working with what you've got, not trying to completely transform into someone else. I think a lot of people are wary of aesthetic treatments because they don't want to look done.
Totally. And Trudy's approach seems to be all about subtlety and personalization. She really takes the time to understand what each client wants, what their goals are, and then tailors the treatment to achieve that specific outcome.
It's like a custom-made beauty plan.
Exactly. And it seems like her clients really value that. All the testimonials we read talk about how well she listens, how she understands their concerns, and how she consistently delivers results that exceed expectations.
It's clear she's not just technically skilled, she genuinely cares about her clients. She's created a space where people feel comfortable, understood, and empowered to make choices that are right for them.
And that's pretty amazing. It's about giving people the tools and the knowledge to feel good about themselves inside and out.
Absolutely, and I think that's a message everyone needs to hear. Beauty isn't about fitting into some mold. It's about embracing your individuality and expressing your true self.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So as we wrap up this deep dive into Gorgesthetics, I want to leave our listeners with a question. What does beauty mean to you?
Ooh, that's a good one to ponder. It's a personal journey for sure.
And remember, whether you choose to embrace your natural features or explore aesthetic enhancements, the most important thing is to feel confident and comfortable in your own skin.
Love it. Thanks for joining us on this fascinating exploration of beauty, aesthetics, and the power of self-care. Until next time, keep shining.